first up, by way of Michael Benson, Mikey Garcia has declared that he is holding out for a potential Manny Pacquiao fight early next year, hence why he hasn't accepted any other offers he currently has on the table for his return. Right, I think this is a safe sort of assumption here that this isn't a good fight. Mikey Garcia is coming off of his first career loss and a really one-sided and not really a devastating loss because he wasn't knocked out, but he got beat up in the process. I mean, Spence, even on the back foot, definitely beat up Mikey Garcia through the 12 rounds. And to go from that to a resurging renaissance like Manny Pacquiao, I find that just to be a really bad matchup. It's an obvious money fight. It's a fight that I think Manny Pacquiao would easily take. Mike Garcia is coming off a good pay-per-view buy rate with Earl Spence. He's in theory, easy opponent for Manny Pacquiao. I can see why Pacquiao takes it. But for Mikey, other than it being a money fight, you're probably going to lose this fight. How is there no one in his camp, no one in his team going, look, this is a bad idea? Or hell, I know this isn't really that doesn't really make the most sense because most promoters think short-term money. How can I make the biggest short-term monetary gain? And even though Heyman's not a promoter, I think he obviously thinks in that framing as well. But the idea that like Heyman would be like okay with this is weird too. That Heyman would want this fight. There are tons of other matchups I would rather see, for either guy, to be quite honest. Potential Lunatic saying Kenneth Boyer of the PBC podcast says it's likely for the new year. Manny's side wants it. Of course, Manny's side wants it. It's a money fight for them. I bet it does actually really good numbers. Manny Pacquiao versus, historically speaking, Hispanic or Mexican American names has always done really good numbers. I again, a February or March fight for Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, or even a January pay-per-view, similar to the Adrian Broner one, is absolutely possible. And Lunatic in the chat saying it's Heyman's way of keeping Mikey. Absolutely is. It's the Manny Pacquiao is the golden ticket for everyone out there right now in the welterweight division, right? Everyone wants that fight. And Leonard Sterling, what's the best place to watch this? Patreon or YouTube? I would say it's YouTube to watch this show. If you're watching like this individual show, right, like championship rounds or like boxing banter, right? Yeah, I would definitely say click on the YouTube link, either in the description on the Patreon video or top right corner. If you click on the video and pause it, there's like a little arrow. Click on that, and the link shows up as well. But the link is in the description. I always say go on YouTube and watch it there because you get the live chat. You get to interact with me a little more directly than the topic in question post, which is a little more in pre-production in a sense, right? But digressing from that, Mike Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, I think it's a fight that makes sense for a pure short-term money grab. But long-term, I don't see any value to it. I think it'd be highly detrimental long-term to Mikey Garcia's career to take back-to-back losses of this nature. Maybe it's not. Maybe he bounces back and it's no issue. Maybe it is. Maybe he is a lightweight fighting legit welterweights with legit power and getting beat up in the process. And that could have really devastating effects on him. Lunatic countering me saying this is the fight that makes the most sense for PBC. I highly disagree with that. I think a Manny Pacquiao-Danny Garcia fight makes the most sense in the world right now. Danny Garcia is a legit welterweight, still a decent name. It would be his foray into pay-per-view, and it's a relatively easy fight for Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. For Mikey Garcia, the problem is his asking price, right? The rumor is that he's asking for like 8 figures, right? And look, unless you're fighting Manny Pacquiao in that weight class, you're not making 8 figures. You're just not, really. Maybe with the big fight like a Spence pay-per-view fight, maybe a Keith Thurman big fight, maybe then you make 8 figures. But even then, possibly a stretch. It's more likely you're just going to make a high 7-figure paycheck. And maybe a Francis Bartholomew 140 fight. Again, it's not a money fight. There's no money fights out there for Mikey right now that is A, good for his career, and B, makes sense, right? Like, that doesn't exist right now. He needs a tune-up. He just had a devastating loss to a guy that's far bigger than him. That's the more important thing right here, instead of a quick money grab. Mikey's 32, right? He's in his early 30s. He has enough years ahead of him where he can get a tune-up fight and then go into a Manny Pacquiao fight. The Manny Pacquiao fight, I think, is always going to be there because, like Lunatic says, Manny Pacquiao's team wants it. And the long-term gain of having that fight offset to later 2020, I think is invaluable right now. Lunatic in the chat saying it's in the bigger picture of the PBC to zone Cold War, this is the move. Not necessarily. I don't think so. I think, let's say even hypothetically you lose Mikey, right? Okay. And? Like, really here, like, think about it. If Mikey goes to DAZN, what else changes? Does DAZN automatically get 6-figure subscriber gain? I don't think so. Do they automatically have amazing fights for him? Maybe at 140 with a Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis matchup, the winner there. But honestly speaking, who else is there for Mikey Garcia but guys at 147? And then maybe an ESPN deal with Terrence Crawford. I think that would probably be the next lucrative deal for him and the best deal for his career. UK Rob in the chat, Robbie Hearns agrees with me. Mikey to DAZN makes 0 sense. It really does. At least in the paradigm of if he's at 147, there's nothing for him. 140 has some names, but you run into the issue with him fighting at PBC but not fighting Manny Pacquiao. Those aren't money fights. So Mikey is in a tough spot because he wants to do... Mikey is putting himself in a tough spot. I want to make that very clear here. This isn't an issue. He can go fight Ordanis Ugas. He can go fight Luis Collazo. He can go fight anyone he wants right now as a tune-up. He really could. And then go fight a Manny Pacquiao, go fight a Terrence Crawford, go fight whoever he wants to fight. If he wants to be a free agent and a gun for hire, he can do that. But instead, he wants to sort of shoehorn himself into, I need an 8-figure fight. And I don't know where that's coming from, and I hope that rumor's not true, to be quite honest. But on the case of Manny Pacquiao wanting the Mikey fight and Mikey waiting till after this year in order to try to get that fight, I am completely frustrated with Mikey Garcia's career at this point. Completely frustrated with it. And again, there's other fights for both guys within the PBC stable, outside the PBC stable. There's fights, especially within the PBC and ESPN, sort of, if we can combine the two for a second, that houses 99% of the welterweight division. It's Fox, Showtime, and ESPN. That's it. If you're not fighting on those networks, what are you doing? Sorry. You guys know me. I like DAZN. I like the content it puts out, but 147, they don't have the content at that division. They have the content in other divisions.